July Bitcoin bull season, and we see some really great news for Solana, for Arbitrum, Robinhood, and the altcoin market might be waking up here very shortly. But we're seeing some nice moves over the weekend. We're seeing a lot of steadiness in the charts. Let's dive into this. I'm getting this retweeted out as we speak, so let's get this shared out to the friends and family. Make sure everybody in your socials knows that this is live. Head over to the @KellyKellam page and retweet this, or at Academy BitLab. This is live streaming on YouTube, X, and Rumble. With that being said, let me go ahead and share this out over on Discover Crypto. We're going to be diving right in. We got some key charts we're going to be looking at. I got my new puppy sitting right next to me. I don't know if you'll be able to see her or not, but we've got magic in the charts. Are we going to be here for the profits, or are we going to be chopping ourselves out along the way? Well, let's get into it. Let's talk about the markets. Let's go. Well, I had a weekend. The weekend was good. Ended up changing my plans a little bit this weekend for everything that you can imagine. This weekend started out on a Saturday with this right here. Meet Ollie. This is Ollie. Meet Ollie. That's right. Olive Shamrock. And she is an absolute joy. She's sitting right next to me over here. I don't know why. I guess I have my FaceTime camera on. But there she is. Look at this beautiful little gal. Beautiful. She has my heart. She's a little sick from last night. But that's okay. We will take care of her. We got some charts to look at here. Just give me 1 second. For some reason, let me turn on my Elgato cam. Let's see. Elgato. There we go. A little bit better there. Yeah. Let's see right here. It's just, yeah, perfect. All right. So let's dive into it, everybody. We have the charts heating up. You see, I got the doggy TV in the background. Basement fam in the house. What's up, Steve-O? What's up, Alexandra G? Farman Marman. Farman Marman, whatever. Good name. She is a cutie. Yeah, I wish you guys could see her. She is so cute. She's so cute. Here, actually, I just took a photo. I could show you guys like this. Look at this little doggy sitting right next to me. Can you see? That's right, literally right there. I took the photo like this. So I got the doggy next to me. But with the markets, guys, the markets. I don't trust cat people either. Alex Jones was right, 1776. But hey, we got the markets are doing some nice things. We got some positive, of course, continued positive news coming in. It just feels like on the daily basis. But just reminding us all, like everything that we're doing, we just had, even in the frustration, we're seeing the market just close the highest monthly close ever. Bitcoin just closed the highest monthly close ever. This is the stairway to heaven. And guys, the bulls are in charge. This is what an absolute bull trend looks like, with some pretty big sell-offs along the way, which we've only seen higher lows all the way up. Look, this even goes back to 2017, 2016. You could go further back, look at the entire chart. That is the nature of the game. You see the market, just Bitcoin specifically, just inching and working its way up and up and up and up. This is what we want to see. And we're sitting here on a day like today, where it was starting to feel like we were going to break down. If we look at this a little bit zoomed in, let me zoom in here. Look at, this price came right down to the trend line that we already had drawn. We've had this trend line on here, I don't even know, a couple months. No, longer than that. This trend line, look at how far back this trend line goes. All the way back here to August of last year. Support, support, support. A little bit of chop here. Rejection, rejection, rejection. Support, 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 support. And look at this. We kind of pinched right up into this, sort of almost turned into a consequential sort of symmetrical triangle here. But this is feeling good. We marked out this area here as a potential area to wash into. And the prices, the bears are trying, and the bulls just keep eating them alive and pushing this back to the upside. But we're seeing a lot of sort of traps here. Trap City. the liquidation of people, just liquidation heat zones of people just going long and short. I looked at this earlier today and there was just, it looked like bumper cars. The price just, I mean, look at this. I mean, this is just absolute, just wrecking people who are not the slightest bit patient right now when this market is about to absolutely explode. So let's pay attention to this, because this right here is showing that there's still indecision in the market. This chart that we're seeing right here, the liquidation heat map with liquidity, huge amounts of liquidities directly above and directly below us. So, you know, basically coming in about 110, 111,000 and coming down all the way here. Look at this, scooped into it, but we still have a little bit more liquidity all the way down here into the low 106s. So showing us that there's still a lot of people long, a lot of people short, but the market is still resiliently holding above that $100,000 mark, minus this one quick little rip to the downside, V-shaped recovery. But this price action has been relatively, you know, a sideways range for, look at this, about 43 days now, with one little attempt to shake people out, boom. And I feel bad for people that sold here, but we have a beautifully defined area. The price action is holding up above this multi-month, almost a year-long trend line sitting right here, and just bounced right on it. And we have money flow coming up. Money flow is coming up here, showing that there's more support for upside than down. It doesn't mean we can't get another washout, because we've seen things just get jockeyed back and forth with everything going on with Trump and the discussions and the trade talks and then the tariffs, and it just feels like a never ending thing of positive met with negative, met with positive, met with negative, giving us this 43, I mean, just 43 days of just ping ponging back and forth. And the price is sitting right here on the high side of the equilibrium. So we should feel good about that. We also come over here to the quick crypto bubbles, and we see on the daily, we're getting some nice movement here. A couple things are down, but Arrow making another move to the upside. Arbitrum, we got some great news on Arbitrum. Hypes always feels like doing well these days. But we're Pith, however you want to say that. And all in all, what does it look like for the crypto total market cap? Total market cap's at $3.31 trillion. So, I mean, relatively flat with this one deviation up and another small deviation below right here. We're basically just been riding a sideways range on the entire crypto market cap, meaning everything's kind of trying to figure out, okay, what are we doing? Are we going to pump? Are we going to break down? Is the news good? Is it risk on? Is it risk off? This is why we deploy strategy here, guys. We deploy strategy rather than hope or fear. Make sure you're giving me a follow here. We're sitting here at 42,600, 42,681, doing well there. But make sure you're giving me a follow. I only call this out because there's so many scam accounts out there with fake impersonators and stuff. Make sure it is spelled just like that. Two L's, not I's, not ones, not a dot, not two M's, not Kelman, not Kellen, but Kelly Kellam right there. Make sure you're giving that a follow. But guys, the highest monthly close ever. And people are worried here while we just get better and better and better forward-looking news about what's possible in this market. This tends to precede fairly large upside action, much like you see here when you get this monthly close to the highest ever monthly close. What happened following? Boom, parabolic uptrend. Okay, what happened here? We got a monthly close. Oh, yeah, oh my God, but it crashed. Well, what did it crash into? When you zoom out, you realize this was just one giant bull flag before the next move to the upside. So we are setting up in such a beautiful, beautiful setup for this market right now. So let's make sure we stay locked in, because this market is about to get exciting. And I think July is going to be very, very bullish for the markets, considering we got July 4th and I guess this coming weekend, we've got the tariffs and trade deals, which will bring certainty. Whether or not people like them or not, is going to start to get to this place where people know what to expect and the impacts in the market and trade and all of these things that are going on that are affecting positively and negatively the sentiment of risk being on or off in the market. Now, we've also got the news from Robinhood. You didn't think we just announced new products, did you? The Robinhood chain is currently being built on Arbitrum. So Robinhood's going to have a chain. It's going to be on Arbitrum, which is awesome. If we come over here and look at Arbitrum, let's come over here and look at our dog. Look at our little doggy here. Nice move to the upside of this range on that listing run up. And this is holding above this previous range of resistance, now currently acting as support. If this does get lost, it wouldn't bother me, because this is, it's about 500 million market cap, so it's not major. So it's easier to move around. If this does sell off, I'd be looking for opportunity here in the 3.6 range, maybe a little lower, but this would be great. And I have some special news. I can't tell you what it is, but there may be another listing that I've kind of helped plug in to make happen, which will happen at the end of July. And I'll tell you guys about that as it comes. I'm so excited about all this market. Arbitrum, where are we at? That's what we're looking at. I have too many coins here. Arbitrum. So Arbitrum, look at this beautiful move on Arbitrum from the bottom side of the range. Boom. I mean, descending, broadening range. You see, descending, broadening wedge. See how these ends are wider than this end, but they're following, respecting this resistance, all the way back down here. Support. And we got all this volume also coming in, helping to confirm this upward movement. And this is also confirming with, look at this, not just volume, but you have money flow flipping positive, the RSI breaking, look, above the 50 line right here. That's a little bit above it, but right there, 50 line, now finding support on the 50 line. And this is on the 8-hour chart, right? And then breaking above that while you see money flow, and you saw this bounce here, find support, and then bounce again. This is a beautiful bull flag. And then going after the bull flag target. All these things line up across all different assets. It's the charts, the analysis, the strategies. If you learn it on Bitcoin, you can use it on Arbitrum. If you learn it on Arbitrum, you can use it on Solana. Technical analysis works across not just crypto, not just your favorite coin, not just Bitcoin, but also oil, also Apple. You can use these skills that we talk about here on a daily basis and go and apply them to other assets that you're trying to buy, trade, hold, whatever you're doing, trying to find just good entries for long positions. It doesn't matter. You can use these skills. Just note that, because this beautifully was identifying this next move up, especially with the bounce here into a bull flag, with the RSI now agreeing with that, getting out of the bearish territory on the bottom half, pushing above 50, finding support and money flow flipping positive right here. Look at that option. That's where the money flow flipped positive. This is also where the RSI found support, not only on this moving average, but right on this 50 line. And it's a bullish pattern. So when you start getting the breakout, boom, caught perfectly. I do believe this is setting up for a likely larger move as this market starts to warm up. We got a W formation here, double bottom. And look at this attempt here. The candles are higher here. Candles are higher. What do I mean by that? You see the wick. Let me go like this. You see the wick is kind of long, but the candle body's here. This candle body's higher. Look at how much money came out. How much money came out of the asset. Yet the candle bodies, even the wicks, could not get pushed down as far, even though there's money getting pulled out of this asset. So that was a bullish signal in and of itself. And these descending broadening wedges, they tend to break bullish. So let's keep our eyes on that. That's on the 3-day chart. Okay, daily chart, we still have a little bit negative money flow. We'd like to see this rotate back over. We'd like to see the RSI maintain where it's at. But then we also got other news. It wasn't just Arbitrum. We also got Robinhood. Robinhood launches ETH and Solana staking. And Solana, also beyond that, just got approved for the ETF going live on Wednesday. So we've got so much great awareness coming to the altcoin sector across major financial news publications, news media. The awareness of, just this awareness campaign it's going to be a major driver for liquidity coming in to the altcoin market. So let's come over here and look at Solana, because Solana, look at this. It's very similar to what we saw in Arbitrum. Do you notice that? See this descending broadening wedge, a little breakdown, push up, descending broadening wedge. Now we got Solana. Okay, we got the breakout, push up, descending broadening wedge. And this is kind of flirting with trying to break through that. This is Solana USD. Let's go like that. Okay, let's extend that out. Boom, just like that. Now, what we want to see here, this is sitting currently at about $156, $157. This pushed all the way up. We can see exactly how high it would if you just put your candle or your mouse right over that candle and you look right here, OHLC, that is the open of the candle, high of the candle, the low of the candle, and the close. So we want to look at H here for the high. That went to 163.90 so far, and it's getting a little sell off. It's okay. We actually have some money flow coming out, but I expect with the news coming in that you see on the 4 hour, the money flow came back positive. It just takes a little bit of time for this to, if it's going to sustain, for it to flip over into the daily. On the 4 hour charts, RSI, look at this. RSI making an uptrend here. We found basically a bounce here in the mid 40s. Now we tried to sell off again, bounced at 60s. What I'd like to see here is if this doesn't make its way through on this, like right here, we tried, but came right back down. If this does have a little bit of a sell off, this would be completely fine. I'd be looking for like a level right about right here in the 150. That would be, in my opinion, a pretty good area to watch for a sort of retrace zone. We can go like this. Let's see. I mean, look at that. That's right where the 382 is. The fib of this move from the bottom to the top. Yeah, I mean, this is right on that shelf. If this is lost, then we're going to be looking at coming back down here into the 140s. But I feel any negative. I feel like anything that we see in the charts in the next week, even if it feels super bearish, the setup here for Bitcoin, the setup with the landscape of what's happening with Robinhood, with what's happening with Arbitrum and Solana, what's happening in the news with XRP, Ethereum, Ondo, tokenized treasuries, there is an overwhelming awareness campaign that's slowly knocking down the frustrating, ignorant doors of a lot of the financial elite out there, and also people, institutions that have come in and gotten exposure or started to get exposure to Bitcoin treasury companies, but also realizing, especially things like Chainlink, the altcoin market is going to be responsible. This technology that's within the altcoin market, some of them, not all, are going to be responsible for bringing this entire revolution to the global financial structure and system and how it operates. And there's so much money to be made here. And unfortunately, there's going to be a lot of money lost because there's some people that are going to have all their eggs in, the one basket of this coin that somebody told them was a good coin. If you're going to be in altcoins, you got to be a little bit diversified, and you want to do it within narratives that could stand on their own. It's not just, hey, here's a cool coin. Can they stand on their own? We're starting to see some of those coins emerge, especially with some of the partnerships and some of the things happening. That's why I talk about Chainlink. That's why I talk about BitTensor Tau and Aerodrome and all of these coins that are a part of these infrastructure things that I think institutions and corporate money and big money and smart money will likely start pouring, getting capital into these assets. Crypto Stevo says you'll be fine with just ETH and Sol. Yeah, I agree with that, Stevo. You said Robinhood will draw millions of crypto news. Yeah, they already have, and they'll probably be bringing in more as well. But what about you guys? If you could only hold 3 coins in your portfolio, what 3 coins would you hold? I'm curious to see what you guys say. Does it help the channel if they're 165? If they hit the like button, just ask them for a friend. Heck yeah, that helps. And we've got 1,514 people watching right now. And of course, that is an aggregate number between YouTube, X, and Rumble. So it tells the total amount of viewers. So if you're watching on YouTube, you're like, oh, there's only 100 people. There's about over 1,500. So shout out to everybody here. Hit that like button. Show some love. It's a beautiful Monday. Got the doggy sitting right next to me. If any of you guys came in late, I'll pull that up again just so you can see. Where's it at? Where's the doggy? This is, look at this little girl. Oh, got this little doggy adopted on Saturday. What a beautiful little girl. And she is a sweetheart. Ollie adopted me yesterday, I should say. She stole my heart. Look at this little thing. She's sleeping right here. So, I've been doing all the doggy walkies and everything. So shout out to Ollie. Now let's get back into the charts. And so we got some signal for July. Why is July likely going to be boom season, like absolute rippage in this market. The market has been constricted and compressed into a lack of volatility in the recent month or so. We can see this on the chart with the price just hovering sideways. It doesn't feel like it when we're in it, right? With these big swings, but when you zoom out, you realize this is just a sideways range. It's been, slight downtrend, but this has been a sideways range for over a month, constricting the volatility. With all the bullish news that's come out from the Genius Act and the Texas signed the Bitcoin Reserve, strategic Bitcoin Reserve bill. We've got, I can't even list it all. We talk about it on a daily basis. It's overwhelming how much bullishness has come into the entire landscape of this market, and we're over here worried at the current prices. But then we see this. The Bitcoin distribution by realized supply metric shows how expensive Bitcoin currently is or not relative to how much that the average Bitcoin costs the last time it was sold. So when you're looking at realized supply, you're seeing essentially it's like realized price, right? You're seeing the average of every coin the last time it moved. So last time it was realized into profits, realized into sometimes loss, but realized back into cash out of being Bitcoin. And that's, when it's traded. And when you see the purple line here get really high, this obviously shows that there's a, huge amount of profitability here. These green zones here is when this is, basically really outside of these sort of Bollinger Bands. You can see the three different moving averages here. But then what we're seeing right now, this is looking good. This is feeling good. It's looking good. Currently, the Bitcoin price is slightly above the annual ratio level, similar to November of 2024. So what we're looking at on this chart as we go into July, is July going to be bullish for Bitcoin? Well, what we're seeing in the metrics, and in this case, this on-chain metric, the Bitcoin distribution by realized supply, simply the setup is very similar to what it was when we look right here before we had this large run up, boom, right here at the end of last year. And this is, we're kind of at the right profit loss, realized cap, the data, the flow, the amount of spot volume that's happening. And also the fact that there's a lot of people trading on DEXs now. This is what we're looking for, these targets up here, but we're getting so enamored here, feeling like it's not going to happen. I showed you guys last week that 40% breakdown that looked like the end of the world. And while you're in it, I remember that while that happened, it felt like the end of the world. But then when you zoom out and you realize that was literally inconsequential. Let me show you exactly what I'm talking about, because it is really, really important that we remember this. It is I made some focaccia bread too. Look at that delicious focaccia bread. Where is it at? Right here. 40% drawdown. Look at this 40% drawdown on Bitcoin. It was the end of the world, right? That's the 40% drawdown. Do you understand what I'm talking about right now? We need to be taking advantage of every dip buying opportunity that the market affords us, whether it's good news, bad news, stupid news, misunderstood news. You have to take your emotions out of the conflicts and the world conflicts and the trade. Forget all that. What does the data say? What does it prove? Infinite money supply, because they never stop printing. Bitcoin has a fixed cap of only 21 million Bitcoin. You cannot even have every millionaire in the world have one Bitcoin. The fact that money is going to continue to be printed to infinity means that this is going to be the persistent trend from down here all the way up here. What we're seeing right now at $107,000 is going to look later like this does down here. This is going to just continue going up. So as you see these 40% crashes, 20%, 30, look at it as an opportunity to either get out of the charts and go do something else, or find a way to buy more crypto, especially Bitcoin, because this giant move that's freaked out so many people, this is it zoomed out. This was, on the way up. This felt like it was over. It's done. I got to exit. I knew this is the top. And then, I mean, look at this. I mean, guys, we are in for some absolute magnificent markets in the near future. There's a couple other things. We also see this. The world is waking up. And this includes central banks. This isn't just Steve and Frank and your Aunt Linda or the crypto guy on YouTube. The world, central banks included. Central Bank of Bolivia just urged everyone to use Bitcoin for payments. Reports a 630% increase. This is going to be the monumental, persistent shift in the world when you start seeing the cascading central banks across the world starting to urge and support at minimum the use and integrations and the positive sentiment about Bitcoin. This is where we're at right now. We have the Genius Act that just got passed by the Senate. Now it needs to get signed in, go through the House, get signed into law by Trump. But then we've got the market structure, crypto market structure, and many of the big, beautiful bill also that Trump signed. They have some provisions there that might limit or eliminate taxes for coins made in America. We'll see if that happens or not. I'm not holding high hopes for that to actually happen, but these things are getting legislated on day by day, and we have a crypto-friendly administration in, and we're seeing it. It's not just here. This is in Bolivia. We already see El Salvador getting involved, with their basically Bitcoin standard that they have their country on. Got Argentina, Brazil, Bhutan, China. There's no way China doesn't have a hell of a lot of Bitcoin beyond what they tell us they have. I guarantee you they've been mining like mad. And then we see the confusion everybody's in right now. Everybody's so confused because we're in a paradox. There's a paradox of this market right now because global liquidity is up. Markets should be pumping. It should just be, well, first off, the markets are pumping. Stock markets just hit all-time high. Bitcoin is just hovering and consolidating above $100,000. Not so long ago, we were significantly lower, okay? But then at the same time, we're wondering why aren't we really seeing this just rocket fuel and really supercharge the markets? Because at the same time, for the first time in history, 4 central banks are reducing their balance sheet. So we're getting global liquidity up, but the central banks are also reducing their balance sheet, which is not good. That's, sell pressure on the market for the things that they had on their balance sheet. But God, it's just such a confusing, paradoxical market for everything except for Bitcoin. Because Bitcoin is programmed by the misprogramming of the dollar. Bitcoin is programmed to go up by the misprogramming, the mismanagement of the US dollar, of the bolivar, of the Turkish lira, of the Chinese yuan. By nature of them getting printed to infinity and the government never having any courage or balls to be able to actually limit their spending and make the hard decisions. And yes, you're going to have to cut some programs, but you got to sometimes cut off a finger so you can save the arm, so you can save the body, right? The fact that we're always going to have money printing and an inflating global liquidity supply means that Bitcoin is going to capture this. Will we have swings along the way? Sure. But this is still looking very, very good. It would be my dream for this to, come down here into the mid 90s, mid 80s to be, I don't think we'll ever see these prices again. So we need to stay locked in. If you guys can't tell, my brain isn't firing on all cylinders because I was up with the doggy last night. She got a little sick. But should we be buying? Should we be selling Bitcoin right now? Bitcoin's over $100,000. It's too expensive to buy, right? Well, the long-term holders, the smart monies, the guys that we've seen make a hell of a lot of money in other places in the world, but also within the crypto market, the guys that know how to manage a strategy that makes them a lot of money. Well, the long-term holders are aping into Bitcoin right now. Look at this giant green uptick here. You don't need to be able to read this chart. This giant green uptick means long-term holders are adding large amounts, huge amounts to their supply. They're acquiring Bitcoin above $100,000. Look at what happened the last time this happened. Oh my God, the market top was in, right? This is so frustrating. Oh, we can't be patient for 6 months. But then look, Once they kind of got rid of all the retail whiny crybabies, then long-term holders said, okay, retail's out. It's time for us to ape in. Boom. And then what happened? Market price popped up again. And then what you see this right here? This is a reduction. So they were taking profits into the dum-dums that bought the hype rather than the data. I'm giving you guys the data right now. I'm trying to swim with the whales. I know you want to swim with the whales, so let's swim with the freaking whales, man. This is giving us that front-running signal. So let's make sure these setups, when retail is asleep and long-term holders are stacking more often than not, is an indication that Bitcoin price pump inbound. And this is in July. With all of these other things, geopolitical, the trade, Trump, tariffs, all of this is coming into focus to set up for a mega spring, in addition to us seeing the smart money stacking in at this level. So let's stay stacked. And then, of course, Ethereum. Ethereum is not dead. Will Ethereum pump? Well, ask yourself, did we just pass a genius act that was going to have to, substantiate what we're doing with stablecoins? Are the majority of stablecoins on ETH? Yes and yes. And guys, ETH is going to be the most hated rally this year. And we're starting to see significant buying pressure from long-term holders emerge during the June consolidation phase. So while everybody's frustrated and mad and the market's not moving, you make your moves when nobody's paying attention. But you're here. You got a window with me. I'm showing you the window into what is happening out here. Now, you got to have a little Bitcoin and a lot of XRP, says Ricky Ricardo Films. You know what? To each his own. I'm not a fan of XRP. I think it can still do well. But hey, I want everybody to make money on any coin that you like. All I can do is present data and look at charts, you know? So let's get back over here. Let's look at some charts here, because we got Bitcoin. I mean, it's just in this hover zone until we break out of the level that I've been talking about for 2 months, longer than that, since back here, since January. And that is this mega pump gateway. This is this 109 to 112, 113 zone. This little gateway right here that we've already knocked on the door. Come on, knock on my door. The bears don't believe we're going to get through there. But I think they're going to be proven wrong. We can tell by this candle right here, massive hammer candle, meaning a giant wick to the downside. The bears tried to bring it down and the bulls said, nope. So within this candle's life, it opened here, right at the bottom of this candle. It fell all the way down here. Got a little scary, right? But then the bulls brought it all the way back up to its open spot and beyond that and closed positive. You can learn so much just by paying attention to these candles, guys. Even independent candles. And then we got, look, the sell off here, but now we have the reversal setup here, especially with a reversal back up. I mean, with a doji candle, which is this tiny little body candle with a large wick, kind of like a spinning top. And then you got this, I believe it's called a dragonfly. They all have weird names. Essentially, you get this long shadow and then all the way back up, here. But this same thing, bears tried, the bulls brought it back up, and now it's neutral again. So it kind of feels a little indecisive, but to me, this favors a move back up. It's all going to depend on the news, but let's just stay vigilant here, because if this does drop into the 105s, great. If we lose that, we're probably coming down here to the 103 zone. But let's look at Ethereum. How's our girl Ethereum doing? Oh, Ethereum came right down into the level that we talked about, the golden pocket right here. This golden pocket we had marked out before it happened. And I told you, as this bounced, I said, watch for this to have trouble at all these lows. All of these lows. You see all of these lows right in here? Where is the price having trouble? Just right under them. It's funny how these things play out over and over again. Now, if this is not able to make a swing to the upside, this may have another move back down to about 2350. And then if it loses that, coming back down into the 2200s. But I'm feeling like regardless of the next, I would say this week into early next week, I would be a little cautious on moves, especially if it's a move to the downside. I think it's a setup. This might sound bizarre. I think it's a setup for a very bullish month, because a lot of times market makers and the momentum of markets, they can kind of scare some people, get the markets to swing to the downside, give them a better entry for the month. So just pay attention to that. And then we talked about Solana, we talked about Arbitrum, Ondo. Ooh, look at this, kind of inverted head and shoulders here. This would be beautiful if this played out. What are we on? We're on the 4 hour. Yeah, perfect. Mark this out. Go like this. So the target of this is basically back up here towards the dollar. Now this is very lopsided with this shoulder, big ass head, Quasimodo style shoulder here. But we have the RSI. See this holding above the 50. Positive money flow. If these two things stay intact, these two signals, I'm not even talking about price. If these two things stay intact, it gives you more indication that this will be making that swing to the upside. But if the RSI does start to lose this, or the money flow starts coming out, then that's signaling this is probably going to make a move to the downside. Option F, go up. So yeah, I'd be looking for the 382 right here at 73 cents. If we lose that, coming back to the golden pocket at 68, 69 cents. But this is feeling like, I'm telling you, I feel like July is going to be so bullish. Aerodrome making moves yet again. We have the rising wedge, the breakdown, retest at the top side of that wedge. That was kind of crazy, right? But then broke down into a descending broadening wedge. Okay, inverted head and shoulders right here. And what did it do? Popped up. Now we got a head and shoulders, came back down. It's feeling a little like it wants to move, but the market isn't ready for a lot of capital to move yet. So you're getting these pumps and then a little bit of sell off as people take profits because they're not sure if there's going to be a consistent move. So I think, again, I think especially with Aerodrome's integrations with Coinbase, I believe this is going to be pretty monumental for its price action when it starts to rip. I think I saw some of y'all's requests here are the coins that you said. Let's look at H bar. I see Mud Flood. I see you. Let's look at H bar and then we'll look at ICP because I don't really ever look at ICP. No reason. It's not like I dislike it. It's just H bar. Actually, over here, I do have it charted somewhere over here. Can you guys hear? Can you hear her snoring? That's so cute. All right, H bar. Man, no clear signal yet. We're on the 8 hour. The RSI is kind of trying to break up. We have this trend line right here. I can see. So we have broken the trend line barely. It did also break the 50 line barely. It's kind of on the cusp and we have negative money flow. So no clear signal here. We also have this trend line here. I feel like this would be more like that. Yeah. Excuse me. Let's get down to the 4 hour. Yeah, if this swings back down, I'd be looking for like a kind of double bottom, not too far down, like 14.2, like right in here. But if it's able to break out, then we're going right to about right here. I'd be watching, not that that would be the top. I'm just saying I'd be watching as this broke out for it to hit its head up against this level because this rejected here, this bounced here, this bounced here, this bounced here. I'd be looking for something like this, and then you get the move to the upside. ICP. Then I got to roll because I have to walk this dog about every 45 minutes so it doesn't pee. I've almost got a house trained already. 2 days. All right. I mean, this just does not look good. Nice base. I mean, look at this. We got a nice base here. Nice base here. Much like we saw back here. This one had a little bit more jolts, pump and dumps within it. But this saw, let's see, it saw 126% move. Are we going to see something like that again? Now it looks like we've got this trend line here. What if it's a giant descending wedge? That'd be pretty dope. Kind of is. That's the 8 hour. Let me look at the 3 day. I mean, there we go. Okay, negative money flow. This is trying to find a bit of a base here. Option J. If you're on PC, it's Alt J. Gives you that horizontal thing. You don't have to come over to the toolbar. The RSI, it cannot get above this 50 mark. We want to see the money flow We want to see the money flow come back, and we want to see especially on the 3-day daily, and down to like 12 hour. We like to see all these time frames if we're expecting this to have like a continued push to at least try something like this again. The RSI needs to break above the region that is being held at right now on the 4-hour. Okay, 4-hour, we are above the 50 line. So boom, there's a 50 line right there. It's a little bit, it's kind of approximate, right? So that's above the money flows trying to turn positive. It just can't do it yet. You kind of have an Adam and Eve pattern here, which is a V and then the scoop, right? Which is like this, right? See it? These are another potential reversal signal, but we got this zone right here. Now look, bounce, 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 rejection, chop within it, rejection, rejection, potential rejection. And then we've got this trend line right here. Okay, so now that we have that drawn out, now we can see we have a flat level of resistance and a rising level of support. If this support is able to hold, this is an ascending triangle, meaning you have the support is at the angle up, and you have the flat here, and then what you do is you measure right here. Actually, that's too much. What am I doing? About right there. There we go. And look at that. The measured move out of that takes us to a spot where this was support, this was support, this was rejected, kind of rejection zone. Yeah, support. So the only reason why I did that, I wanted to see if there's previous price action that gave it any credence. And there is. So it kind of lends this breakout a bit more possible because of that. But it's all going to be contingent on what happens with, the news, and everything going on in the market in that sense. Oops. But yeah, I mean, this looks like it could be trying to make another move, but it's not. This doesn't get exciting until you pass this level right here. Why? All of this support and chop and rejection. And this was the previous massive sort of sideways accumulation. So this is going to be telling if ICP can get up here and break beyond basically $7. I think beyond $7, you get a pretty quick, pretty strong move. Let me see. Any info for vet holders? Been holding a few years. I have not looked at vet. Let's look at vet. I know Dana White just came out yesterday and said, or a day or two ago, and talked about the fact that he's got $1 million worth of vet. This is not what I wanted to do here. I mean, it looks fairly stable, right? There we go. All right, so you see the RSI here. This kind of reversed. This kind of came back down to the same zone as looking like it wants to reverse, but the money flow is negative. Similar right here. See this kind of reverse? It did have a pump, but then it got rejected again. It wasn't until you got the bullish divergence. These lows, and then this is a higher low on the RSI and a higher low on the money flow. So come over here to the 4-hour. Do we have any signal? No bullish divergences, even on the 4-hour. A little bit of a bull div on the money flow. You see how much lower this is? And you see this right here? And this continues. And look, and then this is now, this is the difference. See how there's a lot of money? Like this gets pretty large. It's smaller. It's a little smaller, like also shorter in height. And then these were getting bigger to the downside. Now these are getting smaller, and this flipped in favor of the money coming in on an increase now. So this might be a little bit of a leading signal here on the 4-hour that this may be looking at making a little pop up here and testing into this region up here about 2.3, 2.4 cents. Testing this zone right here will be important. To getting through this would be kind of the next leg out of that if you're able to. Ton. How many ton holders are there out there? I mean, not any clear signal on this right now. I do know that their team's working on a lot of really badass integrations for Telegram and NFTs and a lot of stuff that they're doing. But yeah. Avalanche. This girl is just, we talked about that. It just hadn't quite got the full pop yet. Okay. Money flow on Avalanche has come back to zero, but now it's no. How many of these coins have we seen so far that had the V and then the scoop, this little Adam and Eve pattern? The market is all like set up to make a move, but it's like, oh, nobody wants to make the first move. Right now, I'm telling you, it's just you got to find dip buying opportunities and patience, because this market is about to explode, and it's going to be altcoins, it's going to be Bitcoin. Everything that everybody's been waiting on is just around the corner. It's been a little frustrating since all the economic stuff that's happened that's jockeyed the entire global markets around with tariffs and trade wars. But all that's getting priced in now. The market's used to it. Trade war and the tariffs are starting to get all finalized and identified. China and the U.S. Apparently signed their trade deal. So we're good. Ugin Sky says AVAX is chocolate yogurt. I think they're doing some good stuff. Near. Same thing. Look at this. Looks the same. Same. A little different on Stacks. Stacks looks like it's kind of setting up for the movie, and the RSI is back above and holding above this 50 line. Money flow, everything's just waiting. It's just everybody's waiting to play follow the leader. Sui. Okay, we have a little bit of a downtrend here. Kind of broke out, but this is the same patterns we've seen on all the other altcoins. XRP also. See, I mean, look at this pattern is everywhere. Is the market ready to make the move? Link. Hey, Link is my favorite coin. I'm not even gonna lie. I just wanted to make us some freaking money, man. It's become a stable coin. But let's just remember, this pattern goes all the way back to 2020. Okay. And the fact that this is holding into this feels like such a coiled spring for absolute slingshot to the upside. And as it stands right now, it's kind of like forming the beginning of a W pattern. If this is able to hold up like this, if this money flow also starts to rotate back up, if the RSI gets back above this 50 line, that's on the weekly though, of course. On the daily, see, even this price, as the RSI was pushing up, RSI was also pushing up. Now, as this price fell, the RSI has been in this bearish zone this whole time with this one little fake out right here. But now look at this. This is literally right on the 50 line. What am I talking about when I say 50 line? Look at the chart, guys. Look on the right. You see 50? See when I move my mouse, there's different. And I move my mouse up here, you can see the price. That's you can use the tools available, baby. So when it's on the lower half of this, you're generally in a more bearish setup and strength wise. When this RSI is able to break out of here, I think it will also correspond with this breaking out, retesting, and this RSI will break out, retest, and then you start to get the move up out of this. And then you also have this W formation that's I think Link is going to slingshot so darn base, guys. Then, of course, BNB just holding on. Just all this sideways. And remember, I mean, look at this massive move. Once that made the move, that was like what, a 15x, 16x, 13x. I don't think it's going to do that 13x again, but I do think I could see Binance being well above 1,000. Largest exchange coin, right? Solana. Let's look at Solana one more time before we go. Solana. Okay. Let's get over here. I am tired. Okay. I mean, just like we're looking at with all the other altcoins as well. This already got a little bit more of a move. Why? Because they had that massive news come out about the ETF and also the staking, right? We have positive money flow here. The RSI, what are we talking about? Where's RSI? Look, it pushed up, came down, bounced a little bit below 50 line, but shot right back up above it. We're in the upper half. We have positive money flow. RSI is looking strong. And the price is also right here testing a previous resistance line. And where did it go into? It pushed right up into this resistance box that we already had marked out here. And that's these previous lows and this rejection. So the price basically tapped both of these to figure out where the bulls had strength, where the bears were going to come in, where people were going to take profits. So it got up into this, sold off a little bit. We just want to make sure, pay attention here. If this does sell off a bit, it's okay. Again, I'd watch for this. I watched for about 148. If this were to come down, if this loses, then we're, going to be in another frustrating couple weeks. But I'm feeling good. Markets are feeling good. This dog that's sleeping right next to me, she's such a cutie. But I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Who's live right now? Let's send you off on your way. Let's send you to, let's see. Is Tommy Boy on? All right, everybody. Tom Crown. I'm going to send you over to Tom Crown. Go show some love as you roll in there. Let them know. Say the BitLab fam is here. And I will, I'll send that right now. Redirect. Tom. There you go. Go let them know the BitLab fam's here. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Hope you all have an absolutely wonderful day. Means the world to me to be here with you guys every day. And I have you in my home today because I got the new puppy. I was just trying to take care of her. Didn't want to scare her in the at the studio up with everybody. Got to get her comfortable here first. But I love you guys. I appreciate you. See you over on Tom Crown. Adios, guys.